Just got back from the gas station. No, I'm just playing. Y'all know I don't leave the house. Anyway, shalom. Welcome to all y'all. I'm glad that y'all was able to tune in for another class. Today we're going to be talking about a topic which I would say it could be almost like a counterpart of the Ten Commandments, which we would go with the Big Seven. No, not the boys. We're talking about the 7 deadly sins. And no, we're not talking about the anime either. We're talking about the actual 7 main sins that is within the Bible. Now, see, the 7 deadly sins, like I just said, is pretty much the main 7 sins, which we're going to list down when we get to the list. But before we get to the list, let's go ahead and break down how we like to teach. Most of the people that's already subscribed should already know how this goes down. But for the people that's not and that are new here, first thing, welcome. Second thing, here we don't really go ahead and go too deep into things, as the way that I like to teach is a teaching of where it's simple, it's fast, and you should be able to get it straight, and if you don't, rewatch it. Also, as obviously an artist, I'm going to make this very visual for visual learners mainly, and for people with short attention spans. So if you like to go ahead and go into deep things or deep topics or deep subjects, go ahead and go to IUIC, where they really teach it for about like 3-4 hour long classes where they really go ahead and dig it down part by part, piece by piece. Now, for the people with short attention spans, go ahead and watch this video. It might help you out. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and just go down to them. Now, I don't have an exact list or an exact way that I'm writing these down, so I'm really just going to go with from the one that I deal with the least all the way up to like the main sins that I deal with out of all of them. And I'm doing this simply due to the fact that while I am trying to teach y'all, make sure I get y'all straight, I'm also trying to get myself right, as I deal with almost every single one of these sins every day. I'm not even gonna lie. So I'm gonna also try to make sure that it could be something where I could listen to it and just kind of make sure to get myself back on track if I ever get caught lacking. Because best believe, fighting against these sins, you will get caught lacking horribly. I will say, if you hear that in the background, that's because my sisters are in the room at the moment. They're probably gonna be going in and out. So yeah, I guess that's something. Now we're going into the first one, which is greed. Now, simply the best way to fight against this is just don't be greedy. When it talks about having greed, it basically most of the time is talking about food or riches. Now, we're specifically going to go into riches because when it comes to the food part, that goes more into gluttony, which we'll get into later on. But we're talking mainly about the riches, because if you've heard the quote, money is the root of all evil, then you'll probably be seeing where this is going to go. The first thing I'm going to say about that quote is, it's not the money that's evil, it's the love for the money that's evil. And I knew that way before I even knew that this was actually a scripture in the Bible. But this way that they put this here, it's very stupid. If you want to have riches, that's cool. If you want to make sure that you're wealthy on riches, after all, that's what you'll need, you know? Make sure you have a good finance, make sure that you're able to keep your family straight, keep your household straight if you live by yourself. If you already have a family of your own, like a wife and some children, of course, you'll need to have good finance. But it's the love and the lust that you have to make that money that really causes issues. For example, say if you have a mind that's literally based on get that bag, get that bread, you'll be caused to do a lot of crazy things. After all, I'm pretty sure I've said this in my last video with the basic laws. Some of y'all go from OnlyFans to porn stars to robbing to shooting. Don't do that. Some of y'all even be putting money over God, for real, for real. Some of y'all turn money into y'all God, which is even worse. You can work for your money, but as long as you're working where you're not doing things that are against the Bible. Next up. Now, I would like to say that when it comes to envy and greed, both of these basically are almost like, it's almost like a chain that goes around. Because 9 times out of 10, if you have envy, it slowly turns into greed. Because envy is basically where you see something that somebody has, and simply someone that's in a good state of life, in or out of the spirit, like in or out of the truth, some of y'all just be like jealous to the point where you don't even want for them to have it. Some of y'all don't even want to like work for it yourself. Some of y'all legit just don't want the person to have it. Or if you're in the truth, you see someone that's doing God's work and that's actually doing good in life, and y'all are like, bro, the audacity of you to actually be doing what God wants for you to do. I'm not gonna lie, I hope you get lightning struck on you for real, for real. Like, that is crazy to think about. Some of y'all be jealous to that point. If it comes to the high state of power or the high state of finance, some of y'all go into the fact where you start to lust for the money, and you might even just rob one of your brothers. In fact, I'll give a little biblical story. I'm not going to say all of it, of course, but I'll just give a little rundown. The brothers was mad about the fact that Joseph was the favorite out of the children to Jacob, and due to that, they was thinking of killing him at first, but then they just sold him off. Selling off your own brother due to the fact that he is the favorite child is crazy. I feel like if anything, this also comes to the fact of just comparing. You are you. They are them. Stick to yourself, stay as yourself, ask God to rise you up if you really want to be qualified as quote-unquote special. Even though you are special, and you should know that, go ahead and let those specialties come out. Let that true talent pop out. You don't gotta go ahead and just envy people of whatever talents they have. Their talents are their talents. Your talents is your talents. They may have a crazy talent, but if they don't know how to use it, they don't know how to use it. If you know how to use your talent, use it. Now, next one. Hey, gluttony's coming in the way.
Shut your stupid ass.
Now, with gluttony, it's pretty simple. Keep a healthy diet. Gluttony pretty much is just you overeating and eating a lot. Which most people probably would be thinking, so you're telling me my diet is an issue? Yes. As it's not as big as an issue in the Bible as it is to the real world, but it's still an issue. Keep your diet straight. After all, overeating is something that's qualified as a transgression to the laws, which, aka, is sin, and sin leads to death. So, it doesn't matter what it is, as I continuously will say, sin is a sin. Sin is sin, death is death. Get a diet. Working out is also qualified as something that's profitable. Now, of course, you could train your body physically, but training spiritually is 10 times better. But still, you know it's good. So when you go ahead and see them donuts at the store, being in them donut shops, of course you got a choice. And it's a very hard one, best believe, I know. The way that I be working, it gets to a point where I get so greedy, I might just buy me a whole 10-pack of cookies straight from Wendy's and make it an extra 5 from Salado while I'm at it. But you always got a choice. Don't overeat just for the thrill of it. Eat what is sufficient. Eat what's enough for you. But some of y'all big body people, y'all be having them big appetites. Trust me, I know. I used to be one of them. I'm still one of the big people. I have a pretty big stomach as we speak. Try to eat a fruit or try to eat something that's little before you start to really eat. Next up. Now, slothfulness is pretty simple. You're lazy, you don't like doing anything, and you sleep all day. This is one of the ones where I start to really do have issues with, as I just now was having a lot of trouble pushing myself and pulling myself out of bed. So simply the way to beat this is to stay continuously doing something. Stay active. Don't be slouching on the couch all day. Don't be sleeping 24/7, staying up where you're not supposed to, and then just going back to sleep. Stay active, stay energized, work out, train your mind, study the Bible, do God's work, do something. Try to keep yourself active. Cause a slothful man that doesn't do work is literally, that's almost like having a brother of great waste. You are literally siblings to a piece of trash, a piece of dog shit. You gotta put that into perspective. That's what you want to be. Don't be lazy, work, and you should be able to deal with this sin. Next up. Now with these last 3 sins, these are the main ones that I deal with almost every single day of my life. The one that we're talking about at the moment is wrath. Wrath pretty much is just being angry, having uncontrollable anger, which could possibly cause to crash out activity. And most people that have this spirit is usually fans of Baby Kia or people from Atlanta. Thankfully, I'm only one of those things. Now, the simple way on how to beat this is to just try to be patient, which most people that do have anger issues obviously will try to do. It's just very hard to, because there's certain things that could probably trigger it. For example, my mother is a certified anger issue having midget, and I hate the fact that she brought that down to me as well. Now, simply, she tries to have patience with me, but it comes with certain things that she just can't let slide. But then again, that's my mother, so she probably just does that just cause. Try to be patient, try to be slow to anger, and before, most of the time, when it kicks in, if it just kicks in like automatically, like quicker before you can even try to think, you start to slowly lose thinking and lose your patience and your idea to actually process thought. Which thankfully I'm able to practice myself with. I'm able to practice trying to comprehend what I'm actually trying to think and what I'm trying to actually do. Because most times when I get angry, I gotta think to myself, like, was I at fault about this? Maybe I should have done this instead of doing this. Maybe I should have done this instead of doing this. Maybe that probably could have helped out the situation. Yeah, this probably was my fault. I gotta do better. Back in the day, I used to just straight up just be thinking to myself, I'm not gonna lie, screw that lady. I can't stand this. And it's sad because I still low-key be thinking like that. I just try my best to fight it. Because hatred, people don't know, hatred is the main source that turns into murder. But then again, some of y'all do know that. Actually, I'm pretty sure everyone knows that. But still, in the Bible, and also if you have common sense, hatred causes murder. If you're able to hate somebody good enough, it could probably just be one little trigger that they have, which turns into you just wanting to go ahead and slit their throat in their sleep. After all, the second main sin that actually happened was when Cain murdered his brother, Abel. That's the example of hatred, which turned into murder, in which it also was caused by envy as well. So try to think about the fact that you gotta be slow to anger. You gotta actually try to be patient. Try to think. Some people are very short-tempered. I'm one of those people. But you gotta try to make sure that you can keep your mind calm, at least for as long as you can. And then if you really start to get angry, pray about it. Study about it. Try to calm yourself down. As long as it's not in a sinful way, like, I don't know, smoking a vape or something. Why do people smoke vapes in the first place? Now we go into the second spot. First is the worst, second is the best. And to be honest, that low-key fits with this section, which is pride. The main reason why I put this here is because I feel like these two sins that I mainly deal with, specifically wrath, is also caused by my pride. Because with pride, basically, you're arrogant, you're ignorant, and you see yourself as having him movement. You think that you're the one, the only, the unique, and the greatest. And yes, I did talk about being special throughout the envy section, but you also gotta remember, you're not just special by yourself. All of us are special, all of us are chosen, and all of us are special above the people. Now, of course, God has favorites over other people, other certain people. Like, for example, Moses was definitely one of God's favorites. God would definitely not be choosing someone with a prideful spirit. Because one that tries to go ahead and just be overconfident and just thinks that I know what I'm doing, I don't need any help, that's not something that God rocks with. A man that's wise enough to actually speak up and want to actually ask for help is a wise man because he's trying to go ahead and seek experience from the best. When you're prideful, you stick to only your way and your way only, no matter if it's right or wrong. And 9 times out of 10, it's wrong. So with pride, basically, just humble yourself. Listen to Kendrick, sit down, be humble, listen to a class, study the Bible, pray on it. Sometimes when you're prideful, it might turn into a hatred that you have for somebody because they're trying to teach you how to be right, and you're thinking, did I just catch you? Did I just catch you actually wanting to help me? Like, do you understand how stupid that sounds? Like, bro, I'm trying to help you. Stupid. I'm not gonna learn how to seek help, learn how to humble yourself, and learn how to not only have it be focused on you. Because while life is about perspective, and while it is only you that truly has your back besides God, still, you shouldn't have it just specifically be where you're alone and by yourself. Which also goes into greed as well. I forgot to put that into perspective. Another thing that I wanted to say while in the greed section, most people that are rich and that are focused on getting that bag, having type of mindset, most of the time they live lonely and they live untrustful because they don't know if someone's there as a snake or as a real one, which is not a life that I would want to wish. Now, the biggest sin that I deal with, my number 1 or number 7, if we go in the order that I just made, is lust. This sin basically is just sexual sin. The sexual section of the transgression of the laws. That's pretty much what this is. And if And it's very versatile with where this could go. So I'll try to break down as many as I can. The first one, adultery. Adultery basically is, having sex without any intent to marry, and also just cheating on your significant other. Don't do either of these things. You married this woman for a reason. You should have a righteous marry, a man and a woman. Nobody else. And y'all should be good. The bed goes undefiled. Next thing, rape. Do I really have to explain this? Just don't do this. If you do this, you need help. Another thing, pedophilia. Do I also need to explain this? Don't do it. You need help. The one that I deal with specifically is this, which is porn. Don't watch it. Porn basically messes up your brain, and it's shown by a lot of videos now. And then we also got buying strippers, which also is the sex before marriage, which you shouldn't do. We also got OnlyFans, which you shouldn't be doing. You shouldn't be showing your body, having you be naked or any of that. That's not allowed. You shouldn't be doing that. No. I will say, as I said, the bed goes undefiled. So, if you do want to take videos and all that, you could do that. But you can't show it to nobody. Don't be doing lewd behavior, which is basically just being out of pocket in the most sexual way possible. Or seeing something and automatically thinking to yourself like, oh yeah, I tapped that. And then it also comes into another thing where if you see somebody that got that badonkagong, I'm talking got the wagon in the back, or they might have a little shopping cart, whichever one floats your boat, you gotta learn how to look away. Blindfold yourself. Not actually, but, try to look away. If you think about only trying to tap it, not anything else, you automatically are making adultery through the mind. So that's something that's already not good. So yeah, I hope you was able to catch all that. And with that, we say shalom. This video was supposed to come out earlier. The only thing is, though, I kind of had to stay out of my room. And I specifically like to record in my room because it gives a little more sound protection, almost, I guess you could say. And plus, I just feel more comfortable being inside my room. But yeah, that was the 7 deadly sins, and yeah, that's the most I could say, to be honest. I don't know exactly what else to say. If y'all are actually watching this, I'm begging y'all, please, send this to somebody. Send this out to some people that you know that might be interested. Send this out to people that you don't know if they'll be interested. Send this to people that you know that will not be interested, because I don't care. They need to learn this truth. After all, you can't claim that you're someone of God and you're not even going to try to listen to one of the people that's trying to teach you about him. At least teach you the realness about him. And if y'all want some actual long classes that talks about these, then go ahead and watch IOIC. As usual, they always give out the big stuff, the great stuff. They give out everything that you really need to learn, like on a very long level. I'm talking like 2-hour classes and stuff. But if you still have the short attention span classes like what I give you, then hey, I'm all game. Go ahead, give me requests on. That's what I should start asking for y'all to do. Give me requests on like topics that you want for me to make classes about. That's what I could probably start doing. And I could probably just go ahead and do it for y'all. And with that, I hope y'all really did like this video. If you did, drop a holy bomb on the like, for real. I love y'all. Make sure to study, pray, supply. Most importantly, praise the King. Love y'all. Shalom.